Picture this. You are sitting at your desk and your palms are just a little bit sweaty.
Oh, yeah, we all know that feeling.
Right. And the camera light on your laptop suddenly flickers green.
Terrifying. It really is.
The hiring manager leans in, looks right through the screen, and asks the ultimate trick question: why should we hire you over everyone else?
And that is exactly when most people just completely freeze up.
Does your mind go totally blank? Well, not after today. Welcome to the Daily English Class channel. I am your host.
And I am your resident career expert, and we are absolutely thrilled to have you here today.
Before we really get into it, we invite you to interact with us. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel so you never, ever miss a lesson.
Yes, join the community. We have so much great content for you.
Today, we are undertaking a comprehensive, in-depth exploration of 17 cutting-edge career resources. We're talking guidelines straight from Harvard University, insights from global recruitment experts like Robert Walters and Indeed.
Plus some really raw community wisdom from Reddit and advanced strategies from top YouTube career coaches.
Exactly. Our mission today is to teach you exactly how to master the job interview in the year 2026. We are going to break down the most frequently asked questions, decode what employers are actually asking you, and, equip you with the advanced English vocabulary to sound like an absolute professional.
It is so important because the landscape has changed so much. You really need those advanced strategies now.
So let's jump straight into the very first thing that happens in almost every single interview. The first few minutes dictate the entire tone, and it almost always starts with, tell me about yourself.
Ah, the classic opener. And it's wild how often candidates misinterpret this. This is not a request to recite your entire resume from high school onward.
Right. They literally have your resume right in front of them.
Exactly. They don't need an audio version of your LinkedIn profile.
Okay, let's unpack this. I like to think of tell me about yourself as a movie trailer.
Oh, I love that analogy.
Yeah, so when you watch a trailer for a blockbuster, they don't give away every single mundane plot point, right? They just show the best action scenes so you actually buy a ticket to learn more.
That is so true. You just want to give them the highlight reel.
So how do we actually structure that reel?
Well, the recruitment firm Robert Walters suggests a highly effective framework. It's present, past, future.
Present, past, future. Okay, break that down for me.
So you start with the present. What are you doing right now? Then you summarize the past, explaining how you got there, and finally you pivot to the future.
Which is explaining why this new role is the perfect next step for you.
Exactly. But there's another framework from the CareerVids source that I also really like. It's called the SEAT method, the SEAT method.
Okay, what does SEAT stand for?
S is for skills, E is for experience, A is for achievements, and T is the type of person you are.
So it's skills, experience, achievements, type. I mean, that makes it so easy to remember when you're nervous.
It really does. It categorizes your value right out of the gate.
But let me push back on this a little bit. Isn't it tempting to share personal details to show you're a fun person? Like, say I run a local sourdough baking club, or I hike ultra marathons with my dog. Doesn't that make me memorable?
It might make you memorable, but not necessarily for the right reasons. The focus must remain strictly on your professional story.
Really? No dog hiking stories.
Yeah. Keep it out. The interviewer is trying to figure out if you can solve their business problems. Your sourdough skills don't really help with their quarterly revenue, you know?
Fair point, fair point.
Right.
Keep the movie trailer focused on the genre they bought a ticket for. Now, part of our mission today is teaching advanced vocabulary.
Yes, the words you use absolutely change how you're perceived.
The Practice Easy English source has some great upgrades. For example, instead of saying, I work hard, which everyone says, you should use the word proactive.
Proactive is brilliant. It means you take action before problems even happen. It shows real initiative.
And instead of saying, I pay attention, you teach the listener to use the word meticulous.
Yes. Meticulous means paying incredibly close attention to details. It tells the employer you aren't going to make careless mistakes.
I love that. And what about when you want to say you don't give up easily?
You use the word resilient. In 2026, companies are pivoting constantly. Resilient means bouncing back quickly from setbacks.
And finally, instead of saying, I speak well, say you are articulate, meaning you express complex ideas clearly.
Using words like proactive, meticulous, resilient, and articulate, it just instantly elevates your professional image.
It really does. Here's where it gets really interesting, though. Once you introduce yourself, the interviewer is going to want proof.
Oh, they definitely will. They want evidence of those skills.
Which brings us to the behavioral questions, the classic, Tell me about a time when.
Right, and this is where you have to use the STAR method. STAR.
Situation, task, action, result.
Exactly. You describe the situation, the task you had to do, the action you took, and the result you achieved.
And there's a really specific tip from the VA Wizard source about the action part, right?
Yes, this is crucial. You must use the word I instead of we.
Wait, really? Doesn't that make you sound a bit selfish, like you aren't a team player?
A lot of people worry about that, but the hiring manager isn't interviewing your team. They are interviewing you. They need to know exactly what your specific contribution was.
That makes total sense. If you just say, we launched the project, they don't know if you led it or if you just brought the coffee.
Exactly. And for the result, make sure you include multiple positive outcomes. Give them the hard numbers.
Let me ask you this, though. What if your star story is about a time you failed? Is it safe to talk about a complete disaster?
It is actually a massive green flag for employers
A green flag? How so?
because it shows accountability. If you own the mistake and, more importantly, explain the specific lessons you learned to ensure it never happens again.
Employers love that.
Because everyone makes mistakes. They just want to see if you can learn from them.
Precisely. Now let's talk about the tricky questions like, what is your biggest weakness? Ugh, the worst question. Can I just say I'm a perfectionist and work too hard?
No. Please do not use fake weaknesses. They see right through that.
So what should I say?
Use a real but fixable flaw. For example, maybe you struggle to say no and end up overcommitting yourself.
Oh, I definitely do that. But doesn't that make me look bad?
Not if you immediately follow it up with the steps you take to manage it, like saying you now use a strict calendar blocking system to prioritize tasks.
Oh, wow. So you present a real weakness, but then prove you have the self-awareness and organizational skills to fix it.
Exactly. It turns a negative into a showcase of your problem-solving skills.
Brilliant. What about when they ask, why are you leaving your job?
The absolute golden rule here is to never, ever badmouth a past employer.
Even if my boss was a total nightmare.
Even then, frame it positively. You are seeking a fresh challenge with an ambitious employer. You are running toward a new opportunity, not running away from an old one.
That is a great way to frame it. And what if I have an employment gap on my resume?
Frame it as a time of deliberate learning. If you took a career break to travel, explain how it made you more adaptable and culturally aware.
Make the gap work for you.
I love that. Okay, so we know what to say, but we have to talk about how you say it because the landscape in 2026 is totally different.
It's completely digital, highly global, and intensely competitive.
Right. So according to Jobs Highs and Spark Hire, your tech setup is actually part of the test now.
Oh, absolutely. When a remote interviewer asks, how do you work independently, they are actually testing your asynchronous communication skills.
Asynchronous communication.
Yeah.
So not just working hard, but knowing how to communicate when people are in different time zones.
Right. You have to show, when to use a quick Slack message versus recording a Loom video to explain something visually.
I like to compare async communication to being a really good roommate. You leave clear notes on the fridge and you don't wake people up at 3 a.m. for things that can definitely wait until morning.
That is the perfect analogy. You respect their bandwidth. And speaking of bandwidth, you also need to show AI fluency. Yes. Employers expect you to be a productivity multiplier now.
You should casually mention how you use tools like ChatGPT for brainstorming or GitHub Copilot to code faster. It shows you know how to leverage modern tools.
What about video body language? Is there a trick to that?
Yes, and it's something people struggle with. You must look directly into the camera lens, not at the screen.
But that feels so unnatural. I want to look at their face on my monitor.
I know, but looking at the lens is the only way to simulate real eye contact for them. It projects a ton of confidence.
I'm going to have to practice that, staring right into that tiny green dot. Now, we have to talk about tips for non-native English speakers. We got some great insights from Reddit on this.
The Reddit community was so clear on this. Stop aiming for perfect advanced grammar.
Right. Aim for fluency and impact instead. Cut the fluff.
The interviewer cares way more about whether your answer makes sense structurally than if you use the perfect verb tense.
And the Reddit source suggested a great technique called shadowing.
Shadowing is fantastic. You listen to native speakers like on a podcast or the news, and you repeat after them to catch the natural rhythm and cadence.
And using filler phrases, like if you get a tough question, just say, that's a great question. Let me think about that for a second.
Yes, it buys you processing time without creating an awkward dead silence.
It makes you look totally in control because at the end of the day, every interviewer is secretly putting you through the Harvard airport test.
The airport test is everything.
Explain the airport test for the listeners who haven't heard of it.
So the interviewer is secretly asking themselves, could I be stuck in an airport with this person for 12 hours?
Just sitting at the gate, eating stale pretzels, waiting for a delayed flight.
Exactly.
All right.
Are you pleasant to be around? Are you emotionally intelligent? It's the ultimate test of cultural fit.
Okay, so you've passed the airport test, you've nailed the star questions, your eye contact into the lens was perfect, the interview is wrapping up, but the way you finish secures the offer.
The ending is so critical. Usually they'll ask, do you have any questions for us?
And according to the Muse, you should never say no.
Never. Saying no makes you look completely uninterested.
So what should you ask?
You want to ask questions that show deep interest. A great one is, what does success look like in the first 30, 60, and 90 days for this role?
Oh, that makes them visualize you actually doing the job and succeeding. Now, what about the ultimate flex from CareerVids?
Oh, the 30-day smart work plan. This is next level. You literally bring or email a one-page document outlining exactly what you will do in your first month.
But bringing a full 30-day work plan to an interview, doesn't that come across as a bit cocky or presumptuous? Like, you already know their business better than they do.
It's all about how you present it. If you say, here's how I'm going to fix your company, then yes, it's cocky. But if you present it as a hypothetical framework based on your research, it shifts the perception.
It changes you from just a candidate to an active problem solver.
Exactly. It shows unmatched proactive thinking.
So the interview ends, you log off, you're done, right?
Not quite. You still have to send the thank you email.
Indeed says it's not optional. You have to send it within 24 to 48 hours.
But don't just say thanks for the chat. Make it concise and specific. Highlight a business need you discussed and reiterate how your skills can solve it.
Cement that value one last time. And then finally, we reach the salary expectations.
The most stressful part for a lot of people. Robert Walters says you have to do your market research.
Right, bring the data, and if they give you a range, you justify why you belong at the higher end using that data.
But what if they just can't meet your number? Like their budget is totally fixed.
Then you negotiate for a 6-month performance review. You say, let's start here, but let's agree to review my salary in 6 months based on my performance.
I love that. It shows you are confident you're going to deliver results.
So what does this all mean? We've covered so much ground today. Frameworks, vocabulary, remote tech setups.
It means that you actually have a lot more control over the interview process than you think.
And I want to leave you, the listener, with a final provocative thought. A real paradigm shift. An interview is not a one-way interrogation where you beg for a job.
No, it's not. It is an audition for a partnership.
Exactly. You need to ask yourself, based on how they conduct the interview, how they treat you, the questions they ask, do you actually want to hire them as your employer?
Oh, that is such a powerful perspective. You are evaluating them just as much as they are evaluating you.
When you realize that, the desperation disappears and real confidence takes over. Well, that is all for today's in-depth discussion. We want to remind you that you are a vital part of the Daily English Class community.
Yes, please interact with us. Leave a comment below about your upcoming interviews. We want to hear from you.
Like the video, share it with a friend who is job hunting, and definitely subscribe to the channel for more incredible lessons.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. Keep practicing those frameworks.
And the next time that green light comes on, you'll be ready. See you next time.